Deputy Speaker, and can I also thank my honourable friend, the Member for Edinburgh South West, for bringing forward this bill. If, as we always say, politics is the language of priorities, then my honourable friend has got his priorities absolutely correct. And I'd also like to thank all those members who have shared their experiences and their stories, some of them incredibly moving, and they really should be what inspires us to take all of this action that we're proposing today forward. I was struck by the fact that the Honourable Member for Wokingham and I have something in common, something we probably wouldn't want to have in common, in that we were both diagnosed with breast cancer in 2008. I have to say, my breast cancer was very strange breast cancer. And it always feels slightly strange talking about it because no one's ever heard of it. And it's not a rare cancer as such because it's a breast cancer, although there are some who argue it's actually a soft tissue sarcoma, but whatever, it was treated as a breast cancer. It's called a Phyllades tumour. And unlike other breast tumours, it doesn't go into the ducts, it actually goes into the connective tissue. So it presents very differently from other cancers, or quite differently from other cancers of the breast. And the treatment is also very different in that the only treatment that works is excision. Now, excision can be anything from a lumpectomy to a mastectomy. And the hope is that you get clear margins that mean you're going to be okay. But, and it's a big but, when a malignant Phyllades tumour is present, they can spread and they can be very difficult. In fact, they can be impossible to treat. And that's when it becomes a very, very different outcome. Now, the reason I mention it today is because it's not a rare cancer as such, but it can be very, very difficult to diagnose. It doesn't show up in a mammogram, for example, and there's no definitive explanation as to why they occur. There's some research going on just now, but it's not very conclusive as yet. There's a lot more work needs to happen, and because there are so few incidences of it, it is quite difficult to research. And the things we do know about it for certain are actually very, very random, or they seem to me to be very, very random. They tend to occur more often in the left breast. Why? I have no idea. And they usually occur when a patient is in their 40s. As I've said, they don't seem to respond to chemo or radiotherapy, and they're not thought to be genetic or hormonal. So the reason, as I say, that I mention it today is because it can be quite a lonely thing to have an unusual cancer. Because if you're trying to explain it to your family and friends that no, it didn't show up in a mammogram, and no, I'm not getting chemotherapy or radiotherapy, no, I don't know why it happened, and no, I hadn't heard of it either, you do begin to doubt yourself a little, and you begin to question what is actually going on. So for someone with a very rare cancer, where there isn't a background of research, where there isn't anything that you can read, where no one can give you a pamphlet about it and tell you what's happening, it must be incredibly, incredibly difficult.